It started with a jar, then a step, then a chair. That's how sarcopenia enters your life. Not with a warning, not with a bang, but with a whisper in your wrists, your knees, your thighs. You used to open jars without thinking. Now it takes both hands and a prayer. You used to run upstairs. Now you pause at the third step, and you're wondering, am I just getting old or is something seriously wrong with my muscles? Here's what most doctors won't tell you, and what I've seen over and over in my 50 years of treating older patients. Muscle loss doesn't start when you turn 70. It begins quietly sometimes, even in your 40s, and by the time you notice, it's already stolen strength from your everyday life. This condition has a name, sarcopenia, and for women, especially post-menopause, the risk is even higher. According to the Office on Women's Health, sarcopenia affects millions of women over 50, often without them knowing until it's too late. If you've noticed your balance slipping, if you feel weaker carrying groceries, if chairs feel lower and beds feel deeper, don't ignore it. Don't chalk it up to just aging, because this is the moment to act. Tell me in the comments, have you noticed any new weakness in the past 6 months? Type yes or no. I read every single one. And if this feels personal, if this is your story or someone you love, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and stay with me. Because in this video, we'll expose the early signs of sarcopenia before it steals your strength. Number 1, the earliest signs of sarcopenia in everyday life. Let's make one thing clear. Sarcopenia doesn't show up with a label. It doesn't knock on your door and say, "Hi, I'm muscle loss." It creeps in, and unless you know what to look for, you'll think it's just age, just a bad day, just getting tired a little sooner. But those small changes, they matter. And the sooner you catch them, the more muscle, freedom, and confidence you can save. So here are the earliest real-life signs of sarcopenia you need to watch for, starting now. Sign number 1, you're using your arms to stand up from a chair. This may seem harmless, but when your thigh and glute muscles weaken, your body starts relying on your arms pushing off the table, pressing on your knees just to rise. If you can't get up from a standard height chair without using your hands, it could be one of the first red flags of sarcopenia. Sign number 2, you're walking slower and shorter distances. Do you take smaller steps than you used to? Are you stopping more often when you go to the store or walk down the street? This change in gait isn't just about tired feet. Sarcopenia reduces the power and control in your legs, especially in the hip flexors and calves, making every step less stable. Walking less also means you're moving your muscles less, which speeds up the decline. Sign number 3, climbing stairs feels like a chore or a risk. A healthy adult should be able to climb at least one flight of stairs without stopping. If you find yourself avoiding stairs, holding tightly onto railings, or pausing halfway up, that's a muscle signal. Your legs are telling you they're struggling to carry your body weight. Sign number 4, you feel weaker doing basic tasks like opening jars or lifting a bag. Your grip strength is one of the most accurate predictors of muscle loss and longevity. If you've noticed it takes more effort to open a bottle of water, twist a doorknob, carry a grocery bag from the car, that's sarcopenia showing up in your hands and forearms. According to the National Institute on Aging, grip strength below 30 pounds for men and below 20 pounds for women is a warning sign of functional muscle loss. Sign number 5, you've lost weight but not on purpose. Weight loss sounds good on paper, but when it happens unintentionally, especially in the form of muscle mass, not fat, it's dangerous. Losing more than 5% of your body weight in 6 to 12 months without trying can be an early symptom of sarcopenia or other serious conditions. Pay attention if your clothes feel looser, even if you're not dieting. Sign number 6, you're feeling more tired after doing less. You used to clean the house without a second thought. Now one load of laundry leaves you winded. Fatigue after light activity is one of the clearest signs that your muscles are underperforming. Remember, muscle doesn't just help you move, it helps fuel your body, support your bones, and manage blood sugar. When it's gone, everything gets harder. Sign number 7, you're more worried about falling. Even if you haven't fallen, just thinking about it more often is a red flag. Studies show that fear of falling is often a subconscious response to subtle muscle weakness. You may start walking closer to walls, looking down more often, or avoiding unfamiliar paths, all because your body's warning you it's not as stable as before. Now, how many of these signs do you recognize in yourself? Write the number in the comments, even if it's just one, especially if it's more than 5, because awareness is power. And here's the truth no one talks about. The earlier you notice sarcopenia, the easier it is to reverse. In the next part of this video, we'll break down how hormones, especially after menopause, accelerate muscle loss and why most women are at double the risk without ever knowing it. Stay with me. Your strength deserves a second chance. Number 2, why women lose muscle faster. After menopause changes more than your mood. It changes your muscles, and no one warned you. Most women associate menopause with hot flashes, sleep issues, and weight gain. But very few realize that menopause also flips a switch in your muscle system, putting you on the fast track to sarcopenia. Let me break this down for you. The hormonal shift that changes everything. When menopause begins typically between ages 45 and 55, your body produces far less estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Yes, women have testosterone too, just in smaller amounts. But here's the key. All 3 of those hormones are critical for muscle strength, bone density, and inflammation control. Estrogen, in particular, plays a direct role in muscle repair and regeneration. It helps maintain muscle mass by regulating the balance between muscle building and muscle breaking proteins. Once estrogen drops, that balance breaks, muscles become less responsive to exercise. They recover more slowly, and your body starts favoring fat storage over muscle preservation, especially around the belly. This is why so many women say I eat the same, but I'm gaining weight and losing strength. It's not your fault. It's biology. The inflammation spiral. When estrogen declines, inflammation levels rise, especially in the muscles. This chronic low-grade inflammation is called inflammaging, a term scientists use to describe how aging plus hormone loss, slow internal fire that burns away strength. This inflammation damages muscle mitochondria, the energy factories inside your muscle cells, making it harder for muscles to contract, recover, and grow. That means every little movement feels heavier. Recovery from exercise takes longer, and fatigue shows up faster. The vicious cycle of fatigue and immobility. Here's the cruel cycle: you lose muscle. You feel more tired. You move less. You lose more muscle. You gain fat. Your joints hurt more. You move even less. It's not laziness. It's a trap, a hormonal trap. And many women fall into it silently, unknowingly thinking, maybe I just need more rest. But rest without action leads to weakness. Menopause doesn't mean defeat. Now here's the empowering truth. According to the Office on Women's Health, women can rebuild lost muscle, even after 60 if they address hormone-related changes directly. That means getting enough protein at each meal, 25-30 grams, doing resistance training 2-3 times a week, checking your vitamin D and iron levels, talking to your doctor about HRT, hormone replacement therapy, or plant-based support if needed. You don't need to suffer in silence. You need to understand what's happening and take the right steps. Let's talk numbers. Here's what the science says. Women lose up to 8% of their muscle mass per decade after 40. After menopause, the rate doubles if no action is taken. Within 10 years of menopause, some women can lose up to 25% of their muscle. Let that sink in. 1 out of every 4 muscle fibers gone if you stay still, eat poorly, and don't intervene. And since muscle loss, chalked to higher fall risk, lower metabolism, and less independence, this isn't just a physical issue. It's your freedom on the line. You didn't cause this. You didn't choose this. but now you have the power to respond. Because menopause doesn't mean weakness. It just means you need a smarter strategy to stay strong. So here's the question for today. Have you ever felt that after menopause, you were losing strength faster than before? If yes, type yes in the comments. If not, type not yet, because we need to break the silence. We need to talk about what's really happening beneath the surface. And in the next part of this video, I'll show you the SarcF test, a simple 5-question screening tool to detect sarcopenia at home. Stay with me. You're just getting started. Number 3, the SarcF test. 5 questions that reveal muscle loss. You don't need a fancy lab. You don't need expensive scans. You need 5 questions. That's it. The medical world has a name for it, SarcF, a simple screening tool developed by geriatric specialists to detect sarcopenia risk. It's fast, it's free, and it's shockingly accurate. Let's go through it right now together. Grab a pen or just keep track in your head. For each question, give yourself a score from 0 to 2. 0? No problem. Modernischer. In modernischer some difficulty. 2 year major difficulty or can't do it. We're ready. Question 1. How much difficulty do you have lifting or carrying 10 pounds? That's about the weight of a full grocery bag or a small cat. If you can carry that without issue, score 0. If it's a little tough, 1. If it's hard or impossible, 2. Now pause for a second. Lifting 10 pounds is something you used to do every day. If that's slipping away, your muscle mass already is 2. Question 2. How much difficulty do you have walking across a room? Not a block, not a marathon, just across the living room. If your legs feel heavy, if you shuffle instead of step, or if you fear falling in a space you know well, that's a red flag. Muscle loss doesn't start with long walks, it starts with short ones. Question 3. How many times have you fallen in the past year? This is a big one. 0 falls, during 0 points. 1 fall, year 1 point. 2 or more, just 2 points. Even 1 fall means your body may be losing balance support, which often traces back to core and leg muscle weakness. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related deaths among adults over 65 in the U.S., according to the CDC, so don't shrug this off. Question 4. How much difficulty do you have getting up from a chair or bed? Can you rise smoothly without using your hands? Do you need to push yourself up? Do you hesitate before trying? If you struggle to lift your own body weight from a seated position, your glutes, thighs, and core may be underpowered, a classic sign of sarcopenia. Question 5. How much difficulty do you have climbing a flight of 10 stairs? This question reflects total body coordination, legs, heart, lungs, and balance all working together. If one system fails, the others suffer. And stair avoidance is one of the earliest lifestyle changes in people losing muscle. If you hold the railing, pause midway, or avoid stairs altogether, you're not just being cautious. You may be compensating for weakness. Now add up your score. Total all 5 questions. You'll get a number between 0 and 10. 0, 3, low risk. 4 or more, your high risk of sarcopenia. If your score is 4 or above, I urge you talk to your doctor. Ask them for a grip strength test, a gait speed assessment, or a DEXA scan to confirm muscle mass levels. But even if your score is low, don't ignore the signs. Muscle loss begins quietly, and it moves fast once it starts. Let's talk. Drop your SarcF score in the comments, even if it's just 3 or 6. There's no shame here. Only awareness. And awareness is the first step to strength. Because if you wait until it's hard to walk, until it's hard to stand, until you fall, you've already lost too much. But if you act now, if you catch it early, you can rebuild. And in our final part, I'll walk you through the emotional side of muscle loss, the fear, the doubt, the identity crisis, and how reclaiming your body changes more than your strength. It changes your life. Number 4, emotional payoff. Reclaiming strength, reclaiming self. Let me tell you the hardest part about sarcopenia. It's not the stairs. It's not the walker. It's not the bottles you can't open or the groceries you can't carry. It's the silent grief, the quiet ache that whispers, "You're not who you used to be." Because when your strength fades, so does your confidence, your independence, your identity. But I want to tell you something as a doctor and as someone who has seen thousands of patients fight their way back. You are not your weakness. You are not your diagnosis. You are not finished. Muscle is not just biology. It's memory. It's emotion. It's your story in motion. Every time you stand up without help, every time you reach a shelf you thought was too high, every step you take that you almost gave up on, that's you, returning to yourself. So don't give up now. The numbers don't define you. The scale doesn't define you. The test score doesn't define you. Your courage does. And this, right here, choosing to learn, choosing to act is the beginning of something powerful. So before you leave, tell me, what does strength mean to you now? Write it in the comments. Let this be your first step back to the body, back to the mind, back to the person you were always meant to be. And if this video helped you see something you've been avoiding, if it opened your eyes or softened your fear, then subscribe, hit the bell, and most importantly, share this with someone who needs it, because sarcopenia hides in silence, but strength grows in the community. In our next episode, we'll break down, is strength training the only way to prevent sarcopenia? Foods you thought were safe, even healthy, might be speeding up muscle loss every day. I'll show you what to avoid, what to replace, and how to eat to stay strong for life. So don't miss it. Your next chapter starts now.